This is Phil Golfi with Remax the Golfi Team. Welcome to the Golfi Real Estate Show with host Stephanie Vivier and special guest Devin from Land Art Landscaping.
Well, welcome, Phil, and welcome, Devin. Excited to get to know Devin a little bit more, and great to have you back on the show, Phil.
Yes, our second show together. I am back in the hot seat. Rob is away on special assignment. I actually don't know where he is or what he's doing, but he sent me a text last night, and he said, "Hey, I need you to hop on the show with Steph, and you got to cover me." So here I am on duty, and let's have a great show.
We're going to have a great show. You know what? Maybe, Phil, here's just some speculation on my part. I don't know if you saw this, but I know how Rob feels about Niagara Falls, very near and dear to him. And they had a 1.8 meter steel Christmas tree go missing from the Niagara Falls sign.
Oh my goodness.
He put out on social media, like, we got to find this thing. And so my conspiracy theory is that Rob is off trying to solve this investigation. He's trying to figure out where this Christmas tree went and save Christmas.
That's crazy. I mean, who's taking that and where are they now? And hopefully we don't have a Grinch that's trying to steal Christmas from us, and everything is fine and dandy. We get our Christmas tree back. But I know Jim Diodati. Our families know him. We're family friends, and he's a boots on the ground type of guy. And I think he's gonna bring this to an end and find that lovely Christmas tree.
I think so. If anyone can solve it, we know that it is Mayor Diodati. All right, let's get into what we're here to talk about, Phil, and that, of course, is the real estate market. There's been lots of chatter because of some interest rate cuts. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But what's happening now in real estate this week?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, this time of year is when we get into it's not a traditional real estate market. Oftentimes, if people were looking at buying, they put their plans on hold for the holidays, and we start to have those conversations about, hey, is it a good time to sell right now and put our house up for sale because we really want to sell still, or should we wait to the new year? So we're having a lot of those types of conversations. But personally, I've been lucky. I do have active buyers that I'm working with right now. Right before we got on the show, I was discussing details of a specific offer on a property that I'm working on in Hamilton, of this newlywed couple that's buying their first home together, and they're super excited to get into the market, and their main position is they want to get into the market now. In case in the new year, if interest rates are going to continue to drop and prices might go up, and so they just want to bridge that gap. And they have a little bit of FOMO on the real estate market, and they're just have that little tidbit of being afraid of the market running away from them. So they see it as a good opportunity to hop in now. We're able to negotiate conditions such as financing and home inspection, so they have a little bit more time. And it's just so important for a first-time home buyer to take their time and have these types of conditions in their agreement and feel 100% comfortable in taking that time to decide if this is the right home for them. So it's a great market for a first-time buyer who's looking to dip their toe in. And we've been looking for a while. I think we've seen 20 plus homes with this particular couple, which is a lot. So they have a good idea of what they like and what they don't like, and the area that they want to be. And I think today we're going to finally pull trigger on a certain specific property that they both decided on. So, the market is still moving. It's not, like I said, it's not the fast pace of a spring market. The listings are far and few between, but there's still opportunities out there, and there's still a lot of people looking, that haven't put their plans on hold. So it's a super interesting market as we get through the holiday season. One of the things that people always ask us, and this is a normal question I always get, is should I decorate the house? I'm thinking about selling, and I want to put my Christmas decorations up. Should I decorate them? And I always say yes. I say yes every single time. I say, put the decorations up. We'll shoot and market the house with the decorations because it looks great, and a lot of people have really nice decorations, and then if the property doesn't sell, we're going to come back and shoot it again without the decorations. When you're selling, you're still living in the house. You don't want to be, you still want your house to be comfortable. You still want to enjoy Christmas. You still want to enjoy your family time, and you're still able to sell during that time. It's not, you don't have to put your life plans on hold to put your house up for sale. You got to be a little bit more diligent and just, keeping the place tidy and cleaning up and doing all those good things about, when it comes to selling, but don't put your life on hold. Don't, get rid of all your furniture, and don't enjoy, and so that's, my main message. One of my main messages to people that are thinking about selling during the holiday season is decorate your house. We would still shoot it with the decorations, and in the event that the property doesn't sell within, the Christmas or holiday season, we would come back and shoot it with the, the decorations being down. So that's what's happening. But in regards to the market, it's like I said, it's a quiet time of year. There's not a lot of new active listings, and some of the buyer pools have shrunk. But it's balanced, it's traditional, and things have flattened in terms of pricing, and days on market have increased. So we're moving along, but it's not that fast paced market that we're used to in some of the other months of the year.
That's some great advice right there, Phil, when it comes to the Christmas decorations. There's something so magical about this time of year. And it would be odd to walk into a house and not, feel that decor. Some value there, too, with the Golfi team, being willing to go out and shoot it twice. Not everyone's going to do that for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're lucky that we have a in-house marketing team with photographers, videographers, stagers, and people that are in graphic design, and we're able to do a lot more than the traditional single real estate agent or even the traditional small real estate team. So we're extremely lucky. We understand the importance of marketing and being able to put the home and show it in its best position and value, and in the end it's about attracting the most amount of buyers, and that's how we get people the highest sale price. So it's a home selling system that's worked for as long as my dad's been in the business, and now me, and it's something that we like I said, it's about putting the home on a pedestal to attract the most buyers and bring the buyer pools to those listings. And if it's shooting the house and during the holidays, and then in the end, it comes back to client experience, right? It's in terms of they're still able to experience and live the life that they want to live and enjoy the holidays, and we're still able to market the house. And you got to have that balance of selling your home. And we work with a lot of sellers in a lot of different positions who will say what's important to them and why it's important. And I just listed a new property in Grimsby on Book Road, and we had this exact conversation. And she said, Phil, I really love Christmas. My grandchildren come visit me every single year for Christmas. They love all my little Christmas decorations and the dancing Snoopy and the dancing Santa Claus and all those little fun things. And I said, put them out, enjoy Christmas. We're going to shoot it with all the Christmas decorations, and then in the new year, if we haven't sold yet, we're going to come back and reshoot it. So it's just the little things that we're committed to in terms of providing that client experience, and hopefully it sells, right? Hopefully it sells before the holidays or during the holidays, and away we go. So we'll keep it going.
All right. One of the things we love here on the Golfi Real Estate Show is that we get to hear stories, real world stories from your time in real estate. And there are no shortage of those. And you've got one for us about a vacant home.
Yeah. So it's a difficult story. It's a sad story. And it's, but I'm happy to share. So there was this property in Grimsby, and I was working with first time home buyers. It's a very young couple. Great people. And they were looking for something that was under the $550,000 mark, and they wanted it detached, small yard. So it was a very unique, difficult product to find. And in this price range, the house would need a ton of work. But one of the buyer's dads was a a contractor, very, very good contractor. So they weren't afraid of it. They were going to fix it up and so on. And so when the property first came up for sale, it was completely vacant. There was no one living there. The sellers were out of town, and it was some type of estate sale, or one of the parties had moved on to a retirement home or something along those lines. But the property had furniture in it, but it was completely vacant. You can tell there was nothing in the fridge. There was no clothes in the house, etc. So the property was only on the market for about 4 or 5 days, and we put in an offer. We were in competition. We put in an offer, and we won. And when we we had about a 2.5 month closing, so we went back for a viewing, and we're like, well, this is weird. Like, there's someone living in here now. So, who's living in here, and why isn't the property vacant? And you could just tell you could just tell the fridge was full. There's, stuff on the counter. You can tell that the property was being lived in. And, so I reached out to the other real estate agent, and I said, hey, listen, what's the thing? What's the deal here? We thought the house was vacant, but there's someone living there. And, he said, yeah, they're just helping a family friend out, needs a place to stay for the time being, and but they're going to leave on closing. So he said, okay, nothing to think of it here. That's fine. Completely normal. So we get closer to the closing date, and we go through another walkthrough. And this is one of our things we always harp on, is always do a walkthrough before closing. Never not do this. And so it's like 4 days before, and it was always in the back of my mind. Something felt way wrong about this. And so we go in again, and there's this guy in there who's basically saying he's not leaving. He's like, I'm not leaving. You can go call whoever you want, but you're going to have to go get the courts to get me out. And he's in the house while I'm in the house with him. It's just him and I. And I told my clients to wait out front. Their parents are there. They're waiting out front with them. And I'm like confronted with this man who's telling me to, explicit terms and swearing at me and telling me to go do that and whatever, right? And so I said, what's going on? So what had happened is the family who owned this property wanted to help a family friend out who didn't have a place to stay, might have been on the streets, and they opened up their doors to him, let him stay with the agreement that he would leave by a certain date because the house is sold. And so now we're getting ready to move in, and we hadn't closed on the deal, but we're getting ready, right? We're a couple days away from closing, and this person's saying he's not leaving. And so it was a complete debacle. I felt so sorry for my buyers. And then what happened next, I went back to the other real estate agent. We got the lawyers involved. And long story short, we said, we're not buying the house anymore. We won out of the deal. You're in breach of contract because the house isn't vacant on possession. And there had been damage done to the house since the occupant was living there. And so we vacated the deal. We got out of the deal, and we moved on. And, it was super disappointing, but there's a few lessons here. It's like if you're going to open up your house and bring someone in, there has to be an agreement, or I don't know. It's such a tough situation. It's you want to be that kind family to let bring someone in and put a roof over their head, but in the end it was just such a debacle, and it kind of uprooted my buyers' lives for a few months, and they were getting ready for this dream home that they had purchased, and they kind of got it pulled out from underneath them, but in the end we moved on, and we went and bought another property. So we're actually conditional on a property in Beamsville right now. We have the home inspection today. It's another vacant property, but there's no one living in there, which is amazing. And they're super happy with it.
Thanks so much for letting us into your circle today. You can give the Golfi team a call at 905-641-0308. Devin from Land Art Landscaping, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
All right. And thank you, Phil.
Yeah, of course. Always a pleasure. I need to get on the show more.
Absolutely. You got to wrestle that mic away from Rob. This is the Golfi Real Estate Show on News Talk 610 CKTP.